Hello, my name's Laurel, and welcome to my podcast, Call Me A Stoic. First of all, this shirt is literally me because every morning I go to school with my protein shake in my red Solo cup so that I can just throw it away and it doesn't get all gross. And my shades, duh. Blocking out the haters, you know? And we got Posty with us today. He's so cute. That's his spot right there. This week was actually a pretty good week. I ended up hanging out with a couple of friends that I haven't seen in a while, and you know those friendships where you don't see someone or talk to someone for a while, and then when you do, it's like no time passes? Well, that's how it felt, and just, it's a good feeling. And then my Valentine's Day was an interesting one. It didn't go exactly as planned, but I had class in the morning and then my dad ended up taking me and my sisters out to dinner. And before me and one of my sisters met my other sister and my dad for dinner, she was taking pictures for me, and it was kind of funny because there was this guy that was walking around and he was dressed like Cupid and he had a ukulele with him, and my sister was like, do you want me to call him over and have him take a picture with you? And I was like, no, like, it's fine. And then he ended up wandering over, so I took a picture with him. It turns out that he was going around serenading people, which is kind of funny. Good for him, to be honest. And then after dinner, I had lab still, so I had to go back to school, and low-key, I was kind of late because, I was already stressed out about it before because my dad last minute was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm taking you guys to dinner. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I have a lab though that I cannot miss. And we made it work, but we pushed the limits with that one. And I was planning to see a movie, but some stuff went down and that didn't happen, but I'm still going to go see it at one point. It's the new Bob Marley movie. It looks really good, so gotta go give that a view, a little watch. But getting to today's Daily Stoic, it is Daily Stoic number 18. Be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. So I actually didn't have this Daily Stoic picked out ahead of time. How I came up with what I'm going to talk about today was actually from hearing someone else talk about it. I was at a coffee shop and I overheard a conversation, and this lady was telling this other person about how she made a list of her values and kind of brain mapped them out, is how she worded it. And I wrote that down on a sticky note, and then I stuck it in my journal, and I just kind of was thinking I'll come back to it. And I came back to it, and I kind of realized that I'd never really listed out my values. I'd never really thought about it. I have thought about it. I feel like everyone thinks about like what they do and don't want in people that they associate with or even themselves. But I'd never really taken the time to really think about it and physically write them out. So earlier this week, I just started a note on my phone and I started kind of listing out my values. And while I was listing out my values, I ended up also writing myself some mantras, which are basically statements that you want to be true or that are already true. You're kind of speaking them into existence. Or that's the idea behind them. It's like you're saying it until it's true, or you're just reiterating it so that it stays true, is kind of how I think about them. So I had this note in my phone, and I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of cool and eye-opening, and I low-key want to share it with the podcast. So I started thinking to myself, what daily stoic can I relate back to this? And I was looking through my list of 50, and I ended up landing on number 18. Be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. And I was talking to my sister about it, about what it really means. What it really means to be strict with yourself and to be tolerant with others. So, putting our two smart brains together, we came up with being strict with yourself is abiding by the rules you make/set for yourself. So with this, I kind of relate it to more my values. Although when I really think about it, it relates to both because they're rules that I want to stick by or ideas that I want to keep in mind for who I want to be, who I want to surround myself with, and stuff like that. And being tolerant with others is keeping in mind the understanding you have of how complicated you know yourself to be and how other people are just as complex. Basically, just having grace and remembering that you might be going through a lot of stuff and have experienced a lot of stuff, thinking a lot of stuff, but so is everybody else. And you might not know that that's going on, but you just gotta give them some grace. Is all I guess I gotta say. But that doesn't mean you gotta keep them in your life. I guess just be respectful the way that you go about it. So first, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my list of values that I put together. And I ended up breaking it into 4 different categories, but not even categories, just kind of groups. We got values for me, values for my family, values for my friends, and values for relationships. More specifically, like a significant other. So in some of these lists, I kind of have overlapping things, but something that is for all 4 are my main core values. And basically how I figured out what I see as my core values is I put together a brain map, and I had a rough draft of it, but this is kind of what it ended up looking like. Very color coordinated. I dipped into my little elementary school skills and put together a bubble map. It was actually pretty satisfying to put together, I must say, but things that overlapped into all 4 became my core values, and there were 3 of them actually. The best number, just saying. And those core values are loyal, communicative, and for this last one, it's 3 words, but I see them close enough related to where it's 1. Realistic, honest, and supportive. So, yeah. Now for those different lists. So like I said, I had a note in my phone, and throughout the week I kind of just kept adding to it and adding to my mantras as well. But what I came up with for the values for myself were stable, healthy, strong, which I kind of saw as 1, educated/stoic, kind, considerate, caring, which I kind of saw as 1, and respectful. For my family, it basically just ended up being my 3 core values. So loyal, communicative, realistic, honest, and supportive. Because I mean, family's kind of at the core, so it makes sense that that kind of ended up being the way that it mapped out, literally. But for the next one, I have friends, respectful, understanding, and a goal setter. I think it's really important for me to have understanding friends just because I don't know how to say it, but I just get overwhelmed really easily. And so it's nice when my friends are understanding of the fact that it might take a day for me to respond or to call back, or it might be a couple weeks before we hang out, or maybe even longer. Like, it might be like a selfish thing, but for me to move through life and be who I am, my friends got to be understanding of that. And being a goal setter, I think it's important to surround yourself with people who have similar ideologies as you, and personally, goals are very important. And it's important to me that my friends have goals and that they're moving towards something. And for relationships, some of these are kind of more like from personal experience, so this may not apply for like everybody, but cares about my safety, wants to share their interests, consistent, trust. And for trust, that's kind of just mutual trust, but also having self-confidence, because insecurity is unattractive, to be honest. But we also got on here spontaneous or willingness to be spontaneous, style, pretty self-explanatory, goal setter, once again, because the person that I'm with, I want them to actually be picturing a future for themselves, because I don't want to just be the only one in the relationship that's moving forward towards something. Been there and it's not fun. Understanding of the fact that I feel like just being understanding as someone's person is just important. Respectful, of course, and kind/considerate/caring, which I see as one. And for all three of those, 4 of those, my 3 core values as well. So after making those different lists and thinking about it a little bit more, I really do believe that that's now going to be in the back of my mind when I'm considering who I want to let into my life versus not, because I feel that some people that have been let into my life shouldn't have, and maybe if I would have thought about who I want and the characteristics of someone that I actually want in my life, then maybe I wouldn't have wasted some of my precious time. You know what I'm saying? As far as my mantras go, basically, whether these are true already or not, like I kind of said when I was explaining what mantras are, I'm speaking them into existence or further supporting myself in keeping moving in that direction, if you know what I'm saying. So we got, how many are there? We got 10. Wow, I didn't even plan that, but we got 10 mantras. Here we go. I do not always need to consider the other person in a situation. I will keep people in my life when I appreciate them. I will not let others' opinions impact my decisions. I will have confidence in the decisions I make. I will not continue to treat someone with care and respect when they have not reciprocated it. I will let myself feel my emotions. I will look for the positives in situations opposed to dwelling over the negatives. I will stay true to who I am. I will not let myself be controlled by my mindset. I am capable of giving myself the same love I strive to give others. So for each of those mantras, I kind of dove a little bit deeper into what I mean, and I kind of wanted to talk about a few of them specifically. So first, I will not let others' opinions impact my decisions. Personally, I don't want other people to impact my decisions, but what I really mean by this is I saw something recently and it was somebody talking about that same concept, and it was about how you shouldn't take advice from people who don't live the life you want because the advice they're giving you is probably learned personally from how they got to where they are. But if you don't want to be where they are, then maybe don't listen to their advice. I wouldn't keep it in necessarily that broad of a statement though. I think it comes down to more specifics of if it's about, like, if they don't understand the situation, if it's, or the decision that you're making. And in complete honesty, you should be making decisions for yourself. And if you're letting everybody's opinions impact what you're doing, you're not staying true to yourself, which comes back to another one of my mantras. I will stay true to who I am. And for that, I had that I will not follow the mob, which is actually another daily stoic. And that what makes me unique is that I'm moral. And the thing is that looking at other people or other people's lives and saying, oh, I wish that I was them, or I wish that I was in that situation or in that place in life. First, if you really want to be in that place of life, then make it a goal and start moving towards it. But you also don't need to be anybody else other than yourself, because that's what makes you special, and nobody is who you are. And I think that's something that's really important to remember and not forget about, because then you won't stay true to yourself. You won't be your true self. You'll be somebody else. If you're trying to mirror somebody else's life, you're going to start being them. You're not going to be yourself. And what makes you unique is that you're you. Another one was, I will not continue to treat someone with care and respect when they have not reciprocated it. Basically, as my explanation behind this one is, if I have nothing nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. And I can give myself the right to slowly distance myself from that person, because I just in general can be a very caring person, and so if I'm putting my energy to be caring towards you when I don't have very many people in my life that I'm for real, like, I don't have very many people in my life that are close to me, and if I feel that you're close to me and I'm giving you all this care and this respect, and you're turning around and not giving me care and respect, then you're slowly gonna not be part of what I feel as important enough to deserve it. You're gonna lose that privilege, and I deserve the right to just not talk to you because of that. I don't need any more of a reason. Not that I'm gonna be rude, because like I said, if I have nothing nice to say, I'm not gonna say anything at all. And then for my 10th mantra, it was, I am capable of giving myself the same love I strive to give others. And for me, that's kind of keeping up with my self-care and caring for myself just as much as I do care for other people. And that one led me to actually making a list of what my own self-care is and what makes me happy or like feel better. And a few of those things were making my bed, journaling, putting outfits together, buying myself coffee, practicing yoga / stretching, working out / moving my body, taking walks, sitting outside, getting enough sleep, spending time with people I care about, reading, spending time alone with myself, spending time with family, and taking a few minutes before I leave the house to love on my cat Posty. He left me, I think it's because my sister came home, but he's so funny. He be running away in the morning sometimes when I'm trying to say bye. I swear he knows what's going on because he either runs away or he plops down right in front of the door so that I have to say bye to him. It's so funny, but taking that time to just like give him some pets, give him some hugs, give him some kisses before I leave for the day, that's just important to me. And it makes me feel better when I'm walking out the door because I'm probably not going to see him until that night. And even though he's not home alone, I still feel bad because I'm like, you're my cat. He still gets so much love though, so it's just mother's guilt over here, you know? But in conclusion, I've realized that I say in conclusion when I get awkward and I'm trying to make a transition, but honestly it works. So in conclusion, I hope that maybe this inspired you to make your own list of values and think on it a little bit deeper. Maybe make yourself a list of mantras, speak some things into reality, and think about what makes you happy and what makes you feel better on a day-to-day basis. What kind of things do you do that make you feel happier and better? And keep in mind, be strict with yourself, follow the rules that you make for yourself, and remember that you're the one who made those rules. You're the one who thinks that they're important, and so you need to follow them. Or if you don't feel it's important anymore and you don't feel like you need to follow it, then you don't need to consider it a rule. Because, again, you make them. And being tolerant of others. Giving some people some grace. To a certain extent, of course, but giving people some grace. Be strict with yourself and tolerant with others. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!